Well, he did it. He did it. The idiot's going ahead with it. um, we talked about on Monday. Oh yeah, third video feed today. Bonus, another bonus because you only get bonus videos when something interesting happens. But yes, we've got confirmation today that this indeed was apparently not a threat. And Boris Johnson has apparently drawn up more plans to go ahead with scrapping parts of the withdrawal bill that he and 27 other countries signed. So officially, what we're seeing is the government going ahead saying that we're going to break international law. Oh, oh, what fun! Oh, what fun Brexit continuously brings to us. What joy! But anyway, here's the story. This comes from the New European, by the way. So, the government has published a draft version of the Internal Market Bill, which includes a provision that would allow ministers to unilaterally interpret the withdrawal agreement. Clause 45 of the draft legislation says, quote, certain provisions have effect notwithstanding inconsistency or incompatibility with international or other domestic law. This would effectively allow ministers to decide how key elements of the agreement would work in Northern Ireland without input from the EU. Sky News' Sam Coates says that the legislation represented a, quote, very big moment for Parliament, as MPs are left to cautiously choose whether to override a piece of domestic law. The move has drawn ire from MPs and EU officials. And interestingly, we've already been talking about for the past couple of weeks how many of the new Northern MPs have felt very, very uncomfortable in their new seats, especially with the A-level results fiasco and the continuing coronavirus disaster as well. So they're left in an interesting position because they stood on the ideal that there was this oven-ready deal. Of course, this oven-ready deal has yet to materialise in any way, shape, or form. So, as whether to what we are going to get in any way, shape, or form a quote deal, it's obvious now that that we are probably definitely on course for a no-deal Brexit. And for those of you who may or may not know this, the government's own internal reports show that we will lose about 8% of our GDP. That will not make up for the loss of, no, that's not including the loss of not trading, with Europe anymore under, being in the single market customs union. It doesn't include trade deal or anything like that. It also will not also deals with America or wherever else we make, quote, these amazing deals with, Tony Abbott manning the helm, just to bear in mind, Tony Abbott, quote, trade deal, and, quote, knows a lot about trade deals. The only deal he actually ever signed was with China, about, I think it was 6 months into his prime ministership as MP of as PM of Australia, of which had actually been negotiated by the previous administration over the past 8 years. So once again, it just goes to show you how long trade deals actually are negotiated, and the fact that, well, we've hired a complete moron to try and, get us these, quote, amazing trade deals. And he's not the only person on this trade deal board. Oh, we're going to get into them. Trust me, we are going to get to the rest of these, magnificent trade experts that have been placed upon this board, because it gets interesting. But anyway, back to the story. So the European Council President Charles Michel tweeted, The withdrawal agreement was concluded and ratified by both sides, so it has to be applied in full. Breaking international law is not acceptable and does not create the confidence we need to build our future relationship. So, what a fantastic start, you know, undermining the confidence of what were our closest trading allies and partners, and now turning them against us. And not only that, but what does this actually show the rest of the world about doing deals with the UK? Doesn't show a damn bit of difference or deference to them. They're just gonna be like, well, we're not going to sign any important deals with you. So this whole thing that Boris Johnson said that, we can do these other deals that we can get involved in Europe on like technology, medicine, all these other things that were again all part of our EU package that we were like all a part of. Do you think the EU is going to be open to the possibility of us joining those schemes afterwards, bearing in mind of how we've literally behaved, breaking international law? Also, it has been repeated multiple times, especially by Democrats over in America, that if we are seen to be given Ireland the shaft or are breaking the Good Friday Agreement in any way, shape, or form, which this does, they have said 100% and clearly we will block and veto any trade bill with the UK. So, officially we leave, at the end of this year, and already we're off to a cracking, flying, spectacular crash. And as I've said before, Brexit is just a continuous train ride of a train that's just about to fly off the tracks, and the crash itself is going to be spectacular. And watching the flaming wreckage burn and explode afterwards is just going to be as fantastic to watch. But there you go, more fantastic Brexit news. But anyway, it continues. So anyway, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen also said that she was very concerned about the British announcements from the British government on its intentions to breach the withdrawal agreement. So we've said it before, these people don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to do anything. It's been said a lot recently, reports that David Frost doesn't have any scope or anything like that to actually negotiate. He has no authority to negotiate like Michel Barnier does. He was entrusted by the 27 countries to negotiate on their behalf with a very set terms out of what they wanted to achieve. David Frost, as has been reported, is basically an ideologue. He has his ideological points and set out, and he's basically putting forward points that are completely unrealistic and cannot actually be worked around, which boggles the mind of the fact that you have the EU side, who are the ones proposing solutions of what they think the UK would like, and David Frost can't actually say anything about whether he would like these or not, because he has absolutely no negotiating authority at all. Once again, it all comes back to the point that Brexit is this ideologically driven proposal that has no policies that can actually be implemented. It's just this idea. It is, quote, as I've always said, it's a fantasy filled with unicorns and of dreams of the UK somehow managing to sail off out into the ocean blue at the end of the year. There comes a point where you can't talk to these people. It really does. Anyway, she also tweeted, "This would break international law and undermine trust." Patra Sunt Skandava, the foundations for prosperous future relations. Meanwhile, Labour is looking at potential amendments, a spokesperson for Sir Keir Starmer has said. At the moment, this news is just breaking, so we don't know what amendments Starmer is going to put forward. But who knows? Who generally knows at this point? It's going crazy at the moment with this, and it's generally worrying to watch. But the spokesperson said, the bill has just been published and we'll publish a full response as soon as possible and look at any potential amendments. There are obvious serious concerns about the contents of the bill, the implications on devolution and implications on the Northern Ireland Protocol. Labour is pushing for an urgent question on the legislation in the Commons for tomorrow. Deputy First Minister of Northern Ireland and Sinn Féin politician Michael O'Neill called for the Irish government to put it firmly to the British government that it must adhere to international agreement. They have a very hard fight for our interest, O'Neill added. We have fought very hard for the last 3.5 years since the Brexit debate started to protect the Good Friday Agreement, to make sure that there is no hard border on this island and to protect all our island's economy. We have achieved this in the protocol. That's what must be delivered upon by any attempt by the British government to circumvent that or try to override it. This is not acceptable to the EU and it certainly shouldn't be acceptable to the Irish government. News of the legislation has seen the pound sink to its lowest levels against the US dollar since July. The pound was also 1.7% lower at just under 1.10 euros amid accusations that the government would effectively break international law over plans to rewrite elements of the Brexit Withdrawal Agreement. This comes as the Brexit trade talks enter a critical week, with Brussels chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier arriving in London, aware that both sides' deadline of a mid-October is looming. So there you go. Who knows what other updates could spawn from this? So who knows? You're getting it's another bonus video this week, so you know. But there you go. So please do like and share this video. Hopefully I'm beating a lot of the presses to it. Like I say, there's not a lot of other news outlets that are reporting this moment. I'm sure I've lost to them all by this point, but who knows? If you are new to this channel, please do hit that subscribe button. We talk a lot about British politics and of course Brexit, because you can't talk about one without the other, and that is going to be the case for a long time to come. Other than that, if you would like to support the channel another way, there is a link to my Patreon down below, as well as a one-off donation link. So with that said, thanks for watching and we'll see you all next time.